the Director, Legal Services, Nigerian Army. We take the general salute. Right away in the same standing position, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. In the same standing position, we are going to take the second stanza of the national anthem as our national prayer. After the count of 3, 3, 2, 1. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, thy power lead us right, and by you thy truth to know. In love and honesty to grow and live Jesus and truth. Great love unites to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Thank you very much for your patriotism. You may be seated, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I have the privilege and honor once again to welcome you to this very wonderful book presentation.
A very good, bright and sunny morning to you as we welcome you to the live telecast of events for the formal presentation of a book titled The Legend of Burate, put together for children to cherish the values of gallantry, discipline, and of course, excellence. It is a 105-page book authored by Abubakar Muhammad Sani, assistant journalist. It is coming to you live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, the largest network in Africa. Since the event itself is all about a soldier who is an embodiment of merit, the venue of this occasion is true to his character. It is Merit House, Maitama District, Abuja. On behalf of colleagues at the Dumpsets and, of course, the outside broadcast crew, I am KG Busari Ahmed, your uncle. I welcome you once again. Good morning.
Tomorrow and after, this will always be remembered. History is a clear locomotive and a catalyst that gives strength to any meaningful national development. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for the celebrant himself, who is here represented. And that's a very, very unique and creative welcome song composed for the Chief of Army Staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General T.Y. Buratai. Let's put our hands together for these very wonderful children. They are indeed the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you very much for that very wonderful welcome song put together by our children. You see the beauty of documentation. The next 15 years, tell the students that this is what you did once upon a time, some times back. Yeah, they will say, yes, actually we did something, and their peer group will actually appreciate the strength of their creative intelligence. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to appreciate them. While we have the chief celebrant here present, we also have the chief launcher himself. We have the chairman. The chairman had been here, a true Nigerian who had not only served within the shoes of Nigeria, but in America as well. He had engraved his name in gold in the sector of health. I'm referring to no other person but Dr. Hassan B. Jibrin. He is the president of the American Nigerian Health Consultants in America. Let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, I had an interaction with him. He told me the full meaning of gerontology. And I actually said, sir, please, I don't know how to spell these words. Until he spelled it out for me and then explained to me what actually it means, just like I earlier said. And they will thank you very much, sir, for choosing that very wonderful career. Health is wealth. And then we have the Galaban Talban Kano, who happened to be our chief launcher, Alhaji Awal Garba AD. And he had been here as well with his very, very wonderful friend. It will interest you to know that this is a true Nigerian who is so saddled with the responsibilities of keeping people together with philanthropic disposition. And I believe his choice to be the chief launcher was never a mistake, but because of his philanthropic nature and his zeal toward reading. And so, sir, please, you are most sincerely welcome once again. And also, just like I said, our dear father, who is representing the chief of army staff here present, who happened to be a friend of us, because the relationship that exists between the military and then the civilian is very, very important and paramount regard to crime control and management. And indeed, because he too actually had been playing his role accurately, very, very focused and visionary in that very aspect. And I believe that is why the cause deemed it fit to direct him to serve as his representative. And this is no any other person, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, but Major General U.S. Mohammed, the Chief of Civil Military Affairs here present. Let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. And also, ladies and gentlemen, we know whatever we do in life, we always expect remuneration. Just like this very wonderful theorist, that is Victor Vroom, for those of us who read management. We know that expectancy theory and motivation plays a central role in terms of service delivery. And therefore today, we put in our best because we are expecting something to come from our own efforts. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we always take that very, very responsibility, but it's not any other person but Major General A.R. Bakari, the Chief of Accounts and Budget. Let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. And I think most likely if I was to choose a friend to be my very best friend in Nigeria, I think Major General Bakari should be my friend because he's in charge of accounts and budget. So next year, please put my name in your budget, please. Because I'm a civilian officer, please. Abi? All right. Glory be to God. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we know conflict is an aspect of humanity. Conflict designed the strength of a person. Conflict designed a very beautiful pattern of mutual understanding. And we see the beauty of living together as the best in terms of national development and otherwise. And we know that our culture also designed a very, very particular way for us to live as a people. Because it's our own way of life, we must live together in unity. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, who is actually in charge of this very particular responsibility? This is no any other person but Major General Major General Shalangwa. He is the Director of Legal Services, Nigerian Army, because we need to live together. We need to live together. So, for example, now, if I have a case now, because they've been litigating very well, that is why the beauty of relationship is still existing. If not, personally, I would have not been here. So let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. And also, I want to particularly appreciate the presence of these generals that are seated. Yes, the Nigerian army is one of the arms that is so very, very recognized with sense of discipline. And they've been here seated. None of them squeeze a face. All of them, they've been wearing a smiling face to tell you how disciplined, committed, and very, very visionary they could be. And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, once upon a time, when you are promoted the next rank, please, I will give you my phone number and account number to invite me for the MC of the celebration. So let's put our hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. Those in support who said aye, the ayes have it. They supported it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this very juncture, may I have the privilege and honor to invite the chairman of the occasion, Dr. Hassan Jibrin, to please give us the opening remarks. Let's appreciate him with our applause.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and the journalists from the Northeast in particular, and journalists and journalism of Nigeria in general. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I would like you to say the senior military officers of Nigerian Armed Forces, headed by Major General Tukur Yusuf Bratey, and our distinguished invitees. And I thank you very much for actually giving me this position to speak to you about the role that actually I did in this country and abroad. My name is, as they mentioned earlier, Dr. Hassan B. Jibril. I'm from Borno State, and I'm Shua Arab by tribe, and I'm junior brother to General Muhammad Shua. And I've been with the military. If I see the military, I saw you, the tears coming out, from my eyes. The way how my brother loved the army and armed forces. So I'm so delighted to know you, to see you, and I will tell you a little bit of experience in life in Nigeria. That is 1960s, to 1970s, to 1980s, to 1990s, 2000 and 2010. I started my education from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, Dalon, Kemaka Alo, Kemaka Okuko. So that is the mean I'm a Nigerian and Nigerian. I have no other country than Nigeria, although I'm an American. But first, foremost, I'm a Nigerian. And I have to tell you briefly about what is happening in this country. In here is bleeding. I have to be honest with you. This country is hemorrhagic shock, hypovolemic shock. We have to sustain it. We have to sustain the integrity of this country. We do not have any other country than Nigeria. If anybody is telling you or telling us that they have another country on the surface of earth, that individual is nothing but delusional. What kind of delusion? Grandiose. So we have to salvage this country. We have to team up. It is not the military individual in the name of General Bratey or the president alone will be able to salvage this country. All of us, each and every one of us, we have to stand up and salvage it. Politics, politicians that are good, the bad, and the ugly, which is actually associated with any organization or any structure in this world. So we have to team up and salvage this country. Corruption and corruptism actually is manic in this country, is killing this country, is a disaster. That is how actually they make this country to develop hypovolemic shock. I will give you a typical example of myself. We are all zygotonic human beings. We are all created by God in form of zygotonic stage. Zygotonic stage is a water. From the water, it becomes blood. From blood, it becomes cells. From cells, it becomes organ. From organ, it becomes system. That's how human being is created. Now, we are getting all these aspects from our mother through the umbilical cord. The air our mother inhales, that's what is going to the fetus. The water that she drinks, or healthy water that drink, that's how actually is going to the fetus. If any environment that alter the mother, that will definitely alter the fetus. From where it created is from this country, from Nigeria. It's from the healthy water, healthy environment, good food. That's how actually we are all created from that. Do you have any other country in this world than Nigeria? If anybody say, well, have another in a country than Nigeria, I think that individual could be considered as nothing but delusion of grandiosity. So we have to work together to salvage this country. This country is dying. If you have any argument, then there are some people use defense mechanism to get their own done. But from the reality, a real factor of life is that we have to stand up and improve this country, to make this country equally to any part of the developed country in the world. I was there before yesterday, in the United States of America. Day before yesterday. And I like it. I like it. I was looking at the system up there. It made me cry. When he mentioned this one to the highest levels here in Nigeria, they say, well, you cannot compare America with Nigeria. It should be compared. But, we have to team up. We have to leave the tribalism. We have to leave the sectionalism. We have to release the religious dichotomy. We have to leave all these aspects. We have to salvage this country. We work together. By working together, I think we could be able to salvage this country. We should not leave the thing to the military alone. Military, they are trying to kill or to be killed. These are patriotic individuals to protect the interest, to salvage the interest, the integrity of this country, internally and what? Externally. So these people in here, they need our assistance. They need our teamwork. They have to be well protected. They have to be well fed. They have to be well equipped. But a simple politicians that are making a mockery of money, a real corruption. I consider corruption is nothing but delusion of grandiosity, mental sickness, addiction. Some people will be addicted to salt. Some individual will be addicted to fat. Some individual will be addicted to sugar. And there are some people dangerous who are addicted to what? Money. They get $1 million is not enough. They get $1 billion is not enough. They get $1 trillion is not enough. This is nothing but mental sickness. Now, when I said corruption, I quickly remember it's not started today or yesterday. Even in 1970s and 60s, corruption is there, but not in a very high magnitude of the present corruption. I remember it started from me too. I remember vividly. I will give you a little bit of history. So at this very time, thank you very much. I will not be able to talk to you much, But I think if I could be able to talk to you much, it will be hours. Thank you very much. Thank you, and God bless you. Work very hard and save this country.
Thank you very much. That was the opening remarks by the chairman of the occasion, Dr. Hassan Jibril. Don't worry, these very opening remarks will be on DVD for collection on Monday. Thank you very much. Indeed, we are still benefiting, and we are still benefiting. May I passionately invite Dr. Robert Audu from the UK to join the top table. And also I invite Hadiza Goni with the NGSA, Abuja, to please join the top table. Thank you very much for answering the clarion call to be here with us. Yes, indeed, we are proud of your presence. Well, some said they don't know my name. Well, the name is not quite very important, but if you insist, for security reasons, let me say my name, so that at least when I actually knock at the door of the Chief of Accounts and Budget, at least the doors will actually be open to me based on my name. So my name is Comrade Paul Simon. I am the National Publicity Secretary of the Radio, Television, Theater, and Art Workers Union of Nigeria, TAU. I'm the MC for today, and I do MC all the time, either in the barracks, but sometimes when I want to do MC in the barracks, I make sure I check the size of the quarter guard, so that at least if it is not big enough, whatever I will do there will be highly coordinated. When I realize the quarter guard is big, I'll make sure I have a big friend around me. I'll make sure if all the phone numbers of the Legal Services Director, if his phone numbers are open, then I'll accept that invitation. Oga, true or false? Oga, say not true. Someone at club, listen, gentlemen. Some said they don't know my academic qualification. Well, I first graduated from Abuja, where I started my university career. I proceeded to Bayero University, Enugu, where, what's wrong now? I'm a full graduate. When I graduated from Bayero University, Enugu, where I read palm wine and matrimonial engineering. And presently, I'm a bona fide staff of Nikon Sheraton Hotel, Kafanchan. And incidentally, before then, I was in the Nigerian Army. I left the Nigerian Army in 1941. And that was the same year my first daughter got married. So you can clap for me, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all. I said this to make sure that at least the representative of the Chief of Army Staff smiles a bit, because all work without play. I know talk the rest, now you talk. At this very juncture, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I have the honor and privilege, with all sense of dexterity, to invite the Chief of Army Staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General T.Y. Buratai, who is ably represented, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, by the Chief Civil Military Affairs, Major General Mohammed, to please give us the keynote address. Let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen.
The chairman of the occasion, Dr. Hassan Jibril, the chief launcher, Alhaji Awal Garba Edi, other distinguished guests on the high table, including the author, Dr. Abubakar Mohammed Sani, very senior officers here present, other officers and men of the Nigerian Army present at this event, teachers and school pupils in this hall, members of the media, other distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I have a very difficult task to perform this morning, and it's not far-fetched. It's because the shoes that I've been asked to fill cannot be filled. But however, I will try my best to represent the Chief of Army Staff at this very momentous occasion. So what I will do this morning is to present the Chief of Army Staff's remarks, because as you are aware, he is unable to attend due to other pressing national assignments. So if you hear me speak in the first person, just know that it's not Major General U.S. Mohammed that is speaking. It is Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, the Chief of Army Staff. So I just feel I should make that point. I am highly delighted to be in your midst today on the occasion of the launching of the book, The Legend of Buratai. Written by Dr. Abubakar Mohammed Sani in respect of my early life and indeed my sojourn so far in the Nigerian Army. I am particularly pleased on this occasion for two main reasons. Firstly, the occasion affords me a great and indeed unique opportunity to interact with young and aspiring leaders of tomorrow that look at my generation as role models and mentors. Secondly, this occasion is indeed a classic piece of celebration of service to our dear nation, Nigeria. In the over 6 decades of Nigeria's existence, the nation has gone through thick and thin in her growth from infancy to maturity. What has kept the country going is the resolve to collectively strive to do our very best to protect the national interest. In this regard, some individuals have made modest contributions in their various capacities towards moving the nation up to where it is today. The landmark achievements of these individuals, when aggregated, is what our host and author today fundamentally and rightly so captured as legendary. These legacies are what we will leave behind when the history of the nation is written. Hence, whatever we do today, as leaders, must always be for the sake of posterity. Indeed, such must act as compass to the next generation. Leadership deficit, particularly the junior leadership, is a fundamental challenge that limits professional development in most organizations and institutions today. Absence of mentoring has been identified as one of the major reasons for the gaps. Publications showcasing attributes of personalities such as this are, among others, highly invaluable in addressing the gaps. The book, The Legend of Buratai, is a skillfully written book of fiction which aptly narrated my story as an individual who rose from a modest background and by dint of hard work, full commitment, discipline, loyalty, and by the grace of Almighty Allah, became not just a general, but the Chief of Army Staff, Nigerian Army. The book, which is well researched, did not just cover the usual rhetoric of writing memoirs, but dwelt extensively into the roles, upbringing, environmental factors, and sacrifice played in shaping the personality of a true leader. This made the book very educative and highly informative. I wish to commend the author's ingenuity and clarity in the presentation of facts. The pencil sketch of the pictures makes the work very fascinating and easy to read. This book being published this time when the youths are yearning to take up the leadership mantle from the older generation is most timely. Finally, I wish to therefore most sincerely thank the author for using my life to showcase to the younger generation the ideals of leadership. I would also like to thank the organizers of this book launch for investing their time and resources in putting up this event in my honor. However, as I earlier observed and mentioned, permit me at this stage to once more reiterate the fact that I'm only representing the individual being celebrated and honored today. He is, however, as I earlier observed, unable to attend, but however, in his magnanimity, he has decided to send in a goodwill message, which will be presented at some time during the event. I wish to humbly thank everybody who has been able to make it here today, and to also say that I'm sure you will find the book very interesting. And of course, you will find a place or time to read it at your own spare time. Once more, I want to thank everybody and to wish you journey mercies as you return back to your various destinations. Once more, thank you and God bless.
Indeed, what just happened now is a clear indication of what I may say. Because first and foremost, you must be a Nigerian before you become anything in life. Yes, I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Gbagi by tribe. And my grandfather that gave birth to my father is a chief man from Benue State. And the great-grandfather that gave birth to the father that gave birth to my great-grandfather is from Plateau State. And again, the great-grandfather that gave birth to my father entirely is from Kano State. Please, who can define who I am? Beautiful. I said something earlier on, and I think the Chief of Civil Military Affairs was not here, but he said it exactly, because definitely we must believe in who we are. We must know ourselves. When we know ourselves, then we will believe on the way forward. Indeed, the unity of this country can never, never be erased. May God keep us together. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the representative said something, but I want to ask one thing again. They said between the police and then the driver who is driving, or road safety who are on the route, or highway, or VIO, please, who is more intelligent? Who is more intelligent, please? What are police? Somebody mentioned police and others, but this is what happened. With the permission of the representative of Chief of Army Staff, please, and with the backing of my legal organ there. This happened one day when this young man was driving a lorry all along from Maiduguri, from Borno State. I didn't say that's where the course comes from. I did not say, but he was driving from Maiduguri. He arrived at Edo. You know, Edo State, that's where you see the most, stubborn police and whatever. He came with his lorry, they stopped him. He stopped, they said, please, can we see your particulars? The young man gave the policeman the particulars. Then they were thinking that this guy is from the north, most likely he's not son upstairs. Then they just tell the driver, I said, your particulars are not correct. The driver jumped down from the lorry and said, hey, then Allah, I don't understand what you are talking for here. Then the police said, what's the problem? He said, then Allah, listen to me very careful. I drive on for this motor with this Shanu, wallahi, I pass on for Abuja, where wrong, something, and I owe them plenty. All of them, they confirm my particulars that they are what? Correct. I pass on through local Jama. Their police confirm my particulars that they are what? Correct. Amadang Allah, police for you, for here. Tell them for me that my particulars are not correct. To a light lahi. If you say my particulars are not correct, Gabayronum, correct where it's not correct, and give my particulars, please. Please, can we clap for him once again? It's free. It's free. Don't think if you clap, you pay money. It's free. I give my laugh free. Because I'm a doctor as well, doctor of laptology. So please, whenever you want some laughter, I'll give you my first and foremost, I'll give you my account number before the phone number. Is it not important that way? I see you guys not go be with you, guys. You are right. You sabi route. All right, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's move faster a bit. May I have the privilege and honor to invite Dr. Abubakar Sani to give us the introduction of the book. Please let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
The chairman of this occasion, Dr. Hassan B. Jibril, the special guest of honor, ably represented by Major General Usman, the CCMA, other members of the high table, The reason why I'm in a haste to, say something is I want to first of all tender an apology on behalf of the Chief of Army Staff and all the organizers. He meant it to be here. I know many of the students want to see him. They want to see him. And he so much desired to be here. But we live in, challenging times. Things came up. He said, okay, early morning. Still things came up, and the legend of Boratai. The legend of Boratai. Is Boratai a legend? Is Boratai a legend? Why are we even writing this book? Is it just for flattery? Is it just to praise somebody? Then when he's no longer Chief of Army Staff, you begin to sing another song? The truth of the matter is this. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Boratai, is a legend. Is a legend. But we here in this country we are under celebrating our heroes. We are celebrating our heroes. Sometimes it's hard to, talk to people who are grown up. Because once somebody has made up his mind, it's somehow difficult to change it. But the young ones who are looking left, right, looking for role models to copy, Boratai is somebody that you can copy. For his life summarizes this: diligence, hard work, excellence, probity, commitment, and patriotism to his fatherland. And these are some of the things, if you do as a pupil, as a student, you don't need any soothsayer or anybody to tell you, okay, shortcut to success. If you can be diligent, you can be meticulous, you can work hard and smartly. If you can be honest, just give it time. Time will incubate it. One day you will become great because you are already the best. If you are diligent, you know excellence, and you are striving for excellence, you will end up as the best. And if you are the best, why wouldn't you be the great? But somehow we are thinking you can be the great without being the best. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And for our young ones who are thinking, I have no any animosity with some of our people who are in the entertainment industry. I don't want to mention names, but we have seen it. Young people want to copy musicians, easy success. And you see children, 4 a.m., they are rehearsing some songs. Why? The musicians is having private jet, he's having mansion, and what has he done? Is it not just to sing? Maybe it's because there are no people to emulate. We are telling you there are people to emulate. You can emulate the principles. It doesn't mean if you read the book, maybe until you want to go and join the army. No. For those who don't even want to join the army, the same principles he used in his own lifestyle, if you apply it as a medical doctor, you will succeed. If you apply it to be an engineer, you will succeed. If you apply it to be a teacher, or even somebody who is a beautician, a pedicure and manicure professional, you will succeed, provided you have diligence, hard work, commitment, probity, honesty, and you're striving for excellence, with or without commendation from people. I give you a story. When this idea of writing this book came, we did not seek the approval of the Chief of Army Staff, because we know one of his attributes is he's somehow humble. There are people here who know him on a personal basis more than myself, but he will never approve it. He'll say, no, it will appear as if I want to flatter my ego. Don't do it. So we said, we will take cover. Where are we going to take the cover? We will cover ourselves under fiction. We'll take cover. We will say it's non-fiction. It's fictional work. But we are driving inspiration from your life. And, sir, you approve it, you don't approve it, we will do it. For me personally, I have a son. He's just a 6-year-old boy. But any day in the TV, if you saw the man, he said, I want to be like this very man. I want to be like this very man. At the time, he was saying, see, General, I want to be like this General. I said, okay, I'm somehow fortunate. If in this age, my son, and I don't have many, will say, I want to be like this very man. Not like some of the musicians here and there that are busy. It's somehow good. Why not do something that will motivate this boy? Instead of him to go and there is no anywhere to copy and say, I want to become a soldier, how do you even start? What are the qualities, attributes that as a young boy you are supposed to develop? In Greece, years ago, if they want you to whatever, you will say all this Plato, Socrates, from 6-year-old, they have started training them, teaching them. Why can't we do it here? So I said, let me write something. Driving inspiration from the life of this man, that who knows, I may die tomorrow. This boy can read it. And not only him, I'm seeing many young boys here, young girls here, that they can read it, derive inspiration, and become better Nigerians. This is the whole reason why we did that. And some aspect of the book, we naturally say, we'll do some book reading, we won't do it. But there are some interesting aspects of it. The traditional king who established the Biu dynasty, Yamtarwala, died in 1560. In the book, it was narrated that an old sage told Yamtarwala that, O king, every 100 years after your demise, 3 great men will emerge from Biu kingdom. Every 100 years. But in the 400 year, one person will emerge. It's only one person. And he will carry the attribute of 3 men in him. He will make Borete as a village, Biu as a kingdom, and Nigeria as a country to be very proud. Then, most of you are good in mathematics, so don't mean I'm not good in it, but this is simple mathematics. 1560, 1660, 1760, 1860, 1960, that is 400 years. Borete was born in 1960. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? It's not a coincidence. Anyway, it's fiction, but researchers can go and research it out. So 400 years after the demise of the man who established that very dynasty, somebody came up. And look at it, the passion and the commitment. And let me say this. Somebody told me, I've been reading commentary from some people that have, another kind of mindset. Buhari should fire all those chiefs, or all those service chiefs. They are incompetent, they are this, they are this. I said, oh, you are entitled to your opinion. But some of us, we have gone to Maiduguri, and I have seen Borete going to Gudumbali 1 a.m. in the night. There was a day I went to Maimanari Barak, and I saw them returning from Gudumbali, Madam Potori, 1 a.m. in the night. And then somebody said, he is not serious. He is not serious. He is not serious. May God have mercy on us Nigerians. I think we should begin to change our utterances. We as civilians are supposed to be like football fans. This army, the army, the Air Force, the whatever, they are the ones playing the ball. We should cheer them up. We should cheer them up. If you don't cheer them, then to which camp do you belong? Do you belong to the opposing camp? Which one is your team? You condemn the president, you condemn this, you condemn this. We should have a change of attitude. We should have a change of attitude. They are doing their best. They are doing their best. And if the SS, the immigration service, can step up their game, the army will find it much easier. Our borders are porous. People enter in and out anyhow. Is it the army that is supposed to do the work of immigration and whatever? Everybody should begin to volunteer intelligence and whatever. And on a final note, what I was even trying to say initially, General Muhammad Buhari as president, the chief of army staff, and his able, competent theater commanders and generals and officers have defeated Boko Haram a long time ago. What we have is ISWAP. Is it not it? After Boko Haram was defeated, Shego went around and met al-Baghdadi and said, let's form Islamic State of West Africa province. So I feel, I say, Nigerians are like, we don't follow. Boko Haram has already been crushed, and he has run to meet al-Baghdadi to form ISWAP. So what we are dealing with is ISWAP. It's no longer Boko Haram. They have been vanquished a long time ago. I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. We are very grateful for that very wonderful and valid information we've had. May God continue to give strength to our military, to keep us together, and grant us the community of peace. Please, let's put our hands together for him once again. Next is to invite our own very own, the guest speaker who was given 10 minutes to do justice to what he had for us. And he's here ready to give us what he had in 10 minutes. And we say thank you very much for adhering to these very rules and regulations of the game. Please, let's put our hands together while we invite Mr. Philip Agbase, who happens to be our guest speaker. Very, very erudite, very, very articulative, focused and visionary, as well as a prolific writer. Please, let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen.
The chairman of this great occasion, Dr. Hassan Jubri, the celebrant, Lieutenant, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai, ably represented by the Chief Civil Military Affairs of the Nigerian Army, Major General Usman Mohammed, distinguished members of the high table, our students, the future of our country, members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The public presentation of the prosaic tradition of the counter-terrorism efforts of our dear country, Nigeria, encapsulated in the book, The Legend of Buratai, authored by a distinguished scholar and publisher, Dr. Muhammad Abubakar, is not about Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai. It is also not about the Nigerian Army. It is about the future of our country and the children, the ideal, distinguished, special guests of honor who are here present today. First, let me clarify that I'm still a junior scholar in this field and awarded to bear the cross of a guest speaker at this auspicious occasion before men and women like Dr. Hassan Jubri. But nonetheless, I feel highly honored and privileged, and I will strive to share my little perspective on this book and the personality of the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Army Staff of the Nigerian Army, Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai. Before the reality of this occasion today, I've read some funny commentaries about the title of the book. I've encountered attempts at disparaging the personality of Lieutenant General Buratai and deliberate efforts to undermine the relevance of the fictional narrative as creatively reflected in the title of the book by some persons. I could also see the futile, laborious efforts to diminish the laudable impact of the counter-terrorism efforts and operations under the President Muhammadu Buhari administration through the commanding heights and ingenuity of Lieutenant General Buratai, a military leader, a strategist, and a tactician. He is unarguably one of Nigeria's finest breeds of soldiers. Some self-appointed critics have queried the title of the book by its reference to him as a legend. The egocentric critics prefer not to fet the honor of Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai with such grandiose concept, but to see him exceed the Nigerian Army and the world as an unknown little boy from Buratai village in Biu local government area of Borno State. But fate and destiny are not susceptible to the conscious twists of the base minds. The worth of real men is measured by their actions and impact on a world consistently in search of liberators for its troubled souls. In contrast, I dare say emphatically that Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai is more than just a hero, but an eminent legend, conqueror of the most fortified terrorist havens in Nigeria. An American-renowned psychologist, Philip Zabara, says, to be a hero means you step across the line and willing to make a sacrifice. So heroes are always making a sacrifice. Heroes always take a risk. Heroes are always deviants. Heroes are always doing something that most people don't and will want to change. I want to democratize heroism to say that any of us can be a hero. So heroes are people who came, people who saw, and people who conquered. Yes, we have many heroes, but ironically, not every hero is a legend. However, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai is a combination of both and much more. Through courage, selfless sacrifice, and exemplary leadership, he has commanded the Nigerian Army that has saved you and I, our brothers and sisters, from the brutal strangulation of insurgents and criminal gangs in Bama, Goza, and even Sabisa Forest in northeast Nigeria, and other places to mention but a few. Therefore, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai has amazingly surpassed the mark of a mere hero and has launched himself into the nobility of remarkable legends. A famous American athlete, Max Holloway, says, "Heroes get remembered, but legends never die." For me, this is a perfect description of the persona of Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, and the monograph is excellently structured to keep him evergreen in our memories for his unprecedented efforts to save humanity. The fictional prose is inspirational and prompts deep thoughts each time we think about the Nigerians' numerous battles and encounters with insurgents, the retinue of tormenting religious and regional extremists, and the legion of dark forces amassed against our collective existence as a nation. What about race, part, and exculpation Nigeria suffers today from Boko Haram terrorism streams from the relentless sacrifices of later General Tukur Buratai and the Nigerian army troops, years of sleepless and battles in the trenches. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you may recall that when in July 2015, General Buratai was appointed as the Chief of Army Staff. He promised to make a difference in the counter-terrorism operations. He vowed to defeat Boko Haram insurgents, reclaim all seized territories, and free Nigerians held hostage by terrorists. He gave us timelines to execute his assignment and has religiously complied with it. Today, we sit here to survey a great freedom from these demonic forces. I fondly remember Lieutenant General Buratai's adherence to the promise of the decimating Boko Haram by December 2015, his speedy reclamation of seized Nigerian territories by the turn of 2016, and the symbolic defeat of Boko Haram terrorism with the invasion, penetration, and capture of Sabisa Forest by December 2016 by the Nigerian Army as Christmas gift to Nigerians. I see in Lieutenant General Buratai the image of an uncommon soldier, rugged and combative on the battlefield, and a thorn in the flesh of insurgents, insurrectionists, and other enemies of Nigeria. He is a soldier tough at battle, but meek, kind, and humble at home. His humility and compassion always leave whoever agonies of a suffering people and step out to assist traumatized and helpless people. He counts his joy and happiness in the number of people he has freed from torment and the hangman's news and the lives he has positively impacted. Because of his immense love for humanity, Lieutenant General Buratai and his team go out of their way to assist individual and community. The prosperity and development he has brought to many communities across Nigeria are uncountable. His numerous philanthropic and humanitarian gestures touch my heart dearly. The one dearest to me was when he supported returning internally displaced persons in the Northeast to resettle in their liberated but deserted community and homes. Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai has assisted them with implements and tractor to clear bushes surrounding, construction of roads, to boost farming activities as corporate civil relations. Elsewhere, Lieutenant General Buratai has never shirked in displaying his milk of human kindness, as we have seen in the provision of water to Abakpanike Lake community in Enugu State, the allocation of some communities in the Northeast, free medical services to host communities across North, South, East, and West of Nigeria. He is indeed an epitome of a good neighbor's keeper. A watchful world is not unmindful of these rare exploits, which have not in any way exhausted all that ought to be done on Nigeria's inglorious path of induced insecurity. But Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai remains a legend, as thoughtfully observed by a famed journalist, Don Yiga, who says, sometimes legends find themselves remembered more for what they have not done, for their accomplishment. But those resumed gaps can also help drive them to achieve even greater heights in new arenas. We cannot claim every insecurity challenge in Nigeria has been dismantled. Controversial novelist Samuel Rusher said, there is no such thing as a perfect security, only varying levels of insecurity. Such reminds us. But Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai has substantially dispensed himself as an army chief whose footprints are not only indelible, but have dwarfed the accomplishments of his predecessor put together. I am encouraged to say Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai's mutation from heroism to a legend is mirrored in the promises he has made and kept, and the change from midwifing the formerly agonizing and nightmarish phase of insecurity in Nigeria, a peaceful and secured country. We are proud to call our dear nation. Our men and women in the armed forces are truly heroes, and we must commend and emulate their courage and patriotism as we think of replacing our parents as leaders of tomorrow. Therefore, as students and future leaders of Nigeria, we must know that to be a general, you must first become a soldier. But not all soldiers are general. And so you must embrace hard work. To be a legend, you must first become a hero. And it is also a function of dedication to your work. But not all heroes are legends. Just like not every collection of books make up a library. If we perceive Lieutenant General Tuku Butai today as a legend, it means we must imbibe the virtues of hard work, patriotism, and loyalty to our country. It is pertinent that anytime we think counterterrorism in Nigeria, we must know Lieutenant General Tuku Butai is an authority, a point of reference, and an encyclopedia. But again, not every collection of knowledge makes up an encyclopedia. So assuming Lieutenant General Tuku Butai is an encyclopedia, a book, and a library, then it will be hard to state that a big library like Butai in counterterrorism can only be equated with the Library of Congress in America. The legendary Butai will remain a reference point not only for us, students, and an inspiration and motivation for the upcoming generation in emulating celebrated patriots. Therefore, I must commend the author, Dr. Abubakar, for recognizing this and writing this wonderful book in honor of our legend and our hero, the great Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai. And I also see this book as a worthy testament to what the Nigerian Army under his leadership has done to free our country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. I celebrate our young leaders and our young heroes and legends, and may God bless you as you journey back to your various destinations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that very wonderful, inspirational speech. Indeed, the guest speaker, you are lauded. We've benefited from the fountain of your knowledge. You have described your own ability as a moving library of scientific and you are a moving library of our cultural and scientific knowledge of our time, because culture defines the way you speak, and then the science gives you the direction on how to present what you actually perceived. So let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen, for that very wonderful. We are going to combine two things, because some of us will be going back to Abuja today. Someone like me, I'll be going back to Abuja today. My plane is ready very soon. I'll be going back today. So for that, let me add gear one so that we'll move faster a bit. You know, we civilian officers are always smart, but not combatant. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, may I invite, because we are going to collapse two items to make up an item. So we'll move fast, because by the grace of God, this very program is being transmitted live, and the Chief of Army Staff is there watching us live in Maiduguri. And so please, let's pick the silent issues that will actually add value to the purpose of this very ceremony. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, may I have the privilege and honor to invite Dr. Francis, who will review and as well as present the book for us for onward action. Let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Francis, the Director, White Plains British School.
Chairman of this wonderful occasion, in person of Dr. Hassan B. Jubril, the Chief Launcher, Alhaji Awal Gabo AD, Chairman Magma Group, and Galadima Talban Kano. Sorry, sir, if I didn't say it well. The representative of the man of the hour, he said, you are representing, but I know for sure that before you are chosen to be here, I know that you are also a man of honor. God bless you, sir. I am standing on the existing protocol Oprokotors duly observed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to be here to introduce the book, to review the book. My happiness and joy is that I am an educationist, and I've gone through this book. The author did a very wonderful work by making the book very, very simple and understanding for school children. You see, what we don't understand is that when I interviewed my children, you ask them during career day, what do you want to be? Many of them will tell you that they want to be soldiers. And I now ask, how do you want to become that soldier? They will say, they will tell you many, many things. But this book did something very wonderful. If you go to page 5 of the book, let me be sure. Page 5. It said, a lot of you reading my story want to be soldiers, but don't know how to go about it. That doesn't mean you are not aware of the Nigerian Military School, Zaria, and the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna. You might have been aware of these institutions. However, what most of you want to know is what it takes to become a good soldier. Now, he went further to say here that now there is something else, and this is very common. A lot of you don't even know what you want to be in life. You still don't know what profession is good for you. This is where guidance and counseling officers need to play active role in schools. So what I am saying is that this book will help you to know how to role model yourself through the character of our legend today, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai. Because looking at it, you will see a man that grew from grass to grace. A dedicated, hardworking, diligent, erudent man who grew from grass to grace. And I want to say something here, that the height which great men attained and maintained cannot be attained by a sudden flight. So I am presenting this book to us, especially to school owners and to schools in the federal capital number 1, federal capital territory, and the whole nation. In fact, my school will have what we call Leadership Academy. The Leadership Academy is where children are role modeled, are groomed to take great responsibilities. So this book is going to be kept in the library of every school in this country so that children will look through and see how to become a great man or a great woman. We know when the country was in a very deep, I don't call it deep difficulty, especially during the insurgency. Yes, we're all crying, looking forward to a man that will come and do something. A man that will be so hardworking and have the love of the country at heart. And before you know it, the legend of our day, the legend of today, was chosen. I think, as you can see today, we're all relaxing. We're all happy for the great work he has done. Can we put our hands together for the man of the hour? There is something I want to read here in page 71. It says, when you go to that page 71, there is something that is said there. this is a call to serve Nigeria as one nation. You can't hear it in many people. You can't hear it because this country is so much tribalized. The time the MC was asked, which tribe most intelligent? We were all here. The Hausa man will say Hausa. The Igbo man will, of course, Igbo. The Yoruba, Yoruba. But this is the person that is telling us that we come back as one country. And they tell us that we must have to, whether you are from the north or from the south, but we should come back together as one country and make sure that we put hands together and fight insurgents and make sure that this country remain as one. So if you read it, something will tell you that this is a man of peace. He said, I like that. Peace and unity. Peace is very important and priceless asset that all of us need to survive and live, for us to survive and live happily. So children, we are happy. I am presenting this book. I know that we are all in haste because some of us will be going back to Abuja according to the MC. So our chief launcher, in person of Alhaji Awa Gabo, AD, the chairman, manager of Magma Group, and Galadima Tarban of Kano. Sir, we are here, and all of us are here. We know that this is your day, and we know that anywhere you appear, people will know that a great man has appeared to an occasion. So, I am reading this book. I am presenting this book to be the book that is needed in every library in this country, to be read and to be, for our children to be well groomed and well educated, and how to become also a role model to others in our generation. Thank you, and God bless all of us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, book reviewer and presenter as well. He has done justice to the book, and I think I will have no choice but to quickly ask for mine as well. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just like I told you, this program is transmitting live, and hence we're through with this very segment. May I invite to also inform you that the Chief of Harvard Staff himself is watching this program live, and he has sent in a goodwill message. Therefore, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I urge you to passionately, with all sense of dexterity and joy, to please watch this very goodwill message with understanding. Thank you very much. Please, the goodwill message, please. While they are preparing to fix, immediately after this, we'll now invite our very dear own himself, whom we told you is a philanthropist. And I said, you know, sometimes you adopt a father, because fathers do adopt sons, Abi? But today I've adopted one already. And I will continue to adopt fathers, yeah. If you agree with me, clap. If you don't agree, don't clap, but you can clap. Thank you for agreeing with me. Already, I've adopted Major General Bakare as my father in the Nigerian Army because he's in charge of accounts and budget. Okay, any objection? No objection. Thank you very much. And I'm adopting the Talban Galadimon Kanau, Alhaji Awal Garba AD. I'm adopting him as my father. So now, Oga, my name has changed to. Oga, help me tell the Talban Galadimon Kanau. Presently, I am your son. My name is Paul Awal. So put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Please, are we ready? Please, we need the attention of the technician. While I think what makes us to be here is creating a bridge to cross difficult terrains and tendencies. And that is why today we are celebrating the legendary of Buratai. And therefore, in the course of that, we must have actually tapped from it, because in Hausa they say, so hence we are attached and connected with these legendary achievements. We are going to also create something again to cross about, so that at least tomorrow they'll call me a legend MC. And therefore, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are going straight to the picking of the books and launching properly, so that by the time the Goodwill message is ready from the technicians, then we will go back and then do that. So please, am I right? If I'm right, please clap for me. If I'm not right, don't clap, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank God. Hence, my fathers have clapped for me. I'm okay. I'm covered. I'm covered. I'm covered. All right. Thank you very much. I think I will urge all the top table to step down, unveil, then pick one copy each, then we kickstart the launching place. And this will be led by the chief launcher himself. And thank God, I see already Major General Mohammed is ready, because they said no dull moment in the Nigerian army. True or false? True or false? Well, now they say true, Nabi army. People who are in charge not talk true now, they say true. All right, please, let's go and pick the books, please. The chief launcher, please. You can choose any part. It will still lead you to the book stand.
December 1984. A full lieutenant of the Nigerian Army in 1985. Captain, January 1989. A major of the Nigerian Army, January 1994. A lieutenant colonel in 1999. colonel of the Nigerian army in January 2004, Tukur Yusuf Buratai became a brigadier general in the Nigerian army in the year 2009.
I think the chief launcher
a major general in January 2012.
Are we together?
And not too long ago, talking about 2015, he became a lieutenant general, making him the chief of army staff.
Oh, okay. On behalf of my chairman, Alhaji Awal Garba AD, chairman, Magma Group of Companies operating in oil and gas sector of Nigeria's economy. He holds the prestigious title Galadima Talban Kanu. I, Engineer Okudili Ikejiani, General Manager from Magma Group, want to thank everybody who is here. I'm reading this speech on his behalf because he's in the best state of health. Mr. Chairman, Dr. Hassan Jibril, the special guest of honor, ably represented by Major General Mohammed Usman, very senior officers of the Nigerian Army, author of the book, Dr. Abubakar Mohammed Sani, the guest speaker, the book reviewer and presenter. Please, may I also stand on existing protocol. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be in your midst to witness the book presentation of the legend of Brutai today. As a businessman and a critical stakeholder in the Fixing Nigeria project, I am of the opinion that President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, made the right decision when he appointed General T.Y. Brutai as Chief of Army Staff in 2015. As you all know, when the Buhari administration came on board in 2015, about 17 local governments were under the control of Boko Haram insurgents. But today, all of these LGAs have been reclaimed by the Nigerian Army. I would like to say that the courage, diligence, gallantry, humility, and fearlessness of General Brutai are indeed virtues that school children can emulate. His passion for excellence and exceptional patriotism and loyalty to the fatherland is worth emulating and documenting. I understand that the author wrote this book in a fictional style to make the story of the life of General Brutai one that children could easily relate with. I commend the author for this noble initiative. On behalf of myself, my family, and my associates, I am launching this book. I am launching this book with the sum of 5 million naira. I want this book to be made available to all libraries in all states of the Federation and FCT. There is no doubt that General T.Y. Brutai is indeed a legend, and it is high time we begin appreciating what the Nigerian Army has been able to achieve through his leadership. Once again, thank you very much for inviting me, Alhaji Awal Garba AD, Chairman, Managing Magma Group of Companies, Galadima Talban Kanu. Thank you and God bless.
Then we can march back to our seats. Thank you very much for the honor. Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. The Chief Launcher have done justice to his own responsibility. And I believe some people also are willing to do the same. But meanwhile, the Goodwill message is ready. Please, those sitting there can watch this side, then the top table can also watch from here. It's very, very brief, then we continue with the launching of the book. Then we depart. Because some of us, just like I said, I'll be going back to Abuja today. Thank you very much. Please, the engineer, please, let's continue with the Goodwill message of the cause. Thank you. Let's view.
We, the generation of leaders in the various sectors of our national life must mentor our youth and prepare them adequately for the challenges of the future. The best way to do this is through exemplary leadership and by inculcating in them the enduring positive virtues and aspirations our own generation learned from the founding fathers of this great country. It is my hope and prayers that these books somehow, no matter how little, contributes towards achieving those aspirations for the betterment of our society. Finally, I wish to thank the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to serve in this important capacity, which enabled me showcase some of my humble qualities. I also appreciate the keynote speaker, the book reviewer, the editors, and of course, the publishers. Again, I most sincerely thank the author, Dr. M.S. Abubakar, for using my own story to highlight the. Lastly, I thank the organizers of this event for all their efforts in making today a reality. I wish you all happy reading and safe journey back to your various destinations. God bless.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen. You see what technology have just done now. You see what technology have just done now. To tell you, by the grace of God, we are moving forward. So now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the launching was declared opened, and I was directed by the author himself that all the secondary school students here present, you will not pay 1 naira for this book, that presently everybody will go with a copy of book, courtesy the author. I would have loved to buy these books for everybody. I would have loved to buy these books for everybody. But I'll have to discuss with my two fathers.
Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai has had so many awards to his name.
Somewhere there. My name is what? Paul.
Tukur Buratai has a Force Service Star FSS, Meritorious Service Star MSS, Distinguished Service Star DSS, Grand Service Star GSS, Past Staff Corps Dagger. He also has a Field Command Medal, Training Support Medal, and of course the United Nations Medal for Angolan Verification Medal too. In 2016, Northeast Star magazine made him a Man of the Year. Brazilian Military Order of Merit Award was also added in 2017. The Political magazine's Man of the Year for 2017 as well. And of course, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, a man known to be very resilient, got the Millennium Achiever in 2018 by the Nigerian London Northeast Star magazine's Colin Powell. He has so many others, but this few will be mentioned.
To support the reprinting of these books, you are free, and we'll make the account available, so that at least we want this book to go far and far, just like the book presenter said. The piece, I actually went through some pages as well. I found it very, very rich, very, very resourceful. I think our children, we need to review the strength of our thought. We need to actually change the narratives from negativity to positivity, because viewing points are different and points of view are also different in management. Why we have conflict of understanding is because you are not standing at the viewing point of view of that very person. So we should learn to be very mutual and collective in terms of interest. May God grant us the grace to live well as a country, to keep our country together, and may God take away anything that will make us shed tears. The only tears we want in Nigeria is tears of joy. And may God grant us that grace. Please put your hands together if you agree with me. There is a very special gift from Audu Abubakar Sani and also from Timilein Oloyede. They have a special gift to the Chief of Army Staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai. Please and please, if you people are ready with the gift, please come forward on time. Audu Abubakar Sani, are we ready with the gift? Right, while they're getting ready with the gift, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Hassan Abdullahi to please come forward for the poetry performance. All right, the gifts are here. Chai. These guys, not them for me. If I grow, I go like be Nigerian Army. They've taken over my opportunity. Kai. Okay, they've taken over my opportunity. Okay, no problem. I will still bear it. That's a serious ambush to my aspiration. May I have the privilege and honor to invite the representative of the Chief of Army Staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to please come forward and receive this very gift on behalf. Bring it up, please. Up, up.
Come on here, come here, come on. This one, come here, sir. Yes. Hold it. Hold it like this. Thank you. You okay? Next one. Next one. Next one. Wow. Hold it. Hold it. Break it. Hold it. Don't use the camera.
This one a serious military officer. Now 3-star general, you don't see the stars.
You should come now. Come on. Pardon? That's all. We're allowed to snap now. It's a different person. Oh, okay. No one to
For the next distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I invite the chief launcher himself to please come forward and present his own gift. And I will also invite the representative of the chief celebrant to please join us once again to receive this very gift. The representative, please. Indeed, we are celebrating our day on today. The Chief of Army Staff, Nigerian Army, Indeed, he had clearly engraved his name in gold. The history of Nigeria, I believe, in the next 50 years will not be completed without his name being mentioned. Now see it as a clear star that is geared toward directing the spirit and minds of Nigerians to actually see the beauty to live in peace. Good. The Galadiman Talbankano, our chief launcher, thank you very much for this very wonderful presentation. Please, for the poem recitation, are we ready? All right, please come forward. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, before the poem, may I use this very opportunity to once again thank all of us here, and also especially thank Cha, who had done justice to his 5 million. You know, me, if I'm coordinating launching, once, if it is cash, I would say, shh. But if I say, means it's pledge. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what is said here is shh. It is not. So thank God that the check had been delivered successfully, and we want to acknowledge with sincere thanks. Please, let's put our hands together for those who are still willing to add value to the more production of this book for others to gain as well. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hassan Abdullahi, and I'm a poet. So I was born and bred in Maiduguri, and all through the insurgency, I have been witness to it. So early 2017, I felt very, very inspired to write a poem. It was originally just a written poem, but the inspiration came because serious achievements have been achieved between 2015 after the appointment of the present Chief of Army Staff. And I am humbled to have the opportunity to present this poem here in this place with some of the people who had been instrumental in that achievement. And
today I say thank you to the Nigerian soldier. For blood, life, and limbs have been sacrificed for me to be here. I have seen pure bravery fused with green, white, green colored hearts, widowed women, orphan children, grieving parents. These are the price being paid daily for me and you to live free. If you could listen to the silence of appreciation, you'd have to respect the humility of the Nigerian soldier. Thank you to the Nigerian army. For I have seen the smiles of anarchy thwarted by the frown of the Nigerian army. I have seen bullets, happy and sniggering, vibrant and merrying amidst the tears of people in Maiduguri. I have seen these ugly beasts spread through the northeast like a wildfire, encouraged by dry, wicked winds, until the Nigerian army intervened with the confidence of a waterfall and the attitude of a raging storm. Everything was without a form. So thank you to the Nigerian army. For I have seen the Nigerian army in their armor of valor. I have seen them in the spirit of honor. I have seen them with the selflessness of bravery stand between defenseless Nigerians and this Boko Haram fire that is waging. They've been firefighting this horror, wearing their hearts on their sleeves, sweating their blood so we can sleep, risking it all without a bleep, falling to their deaths as we flee, giving it all so me and you can live free to fulfill our dreams. How can we not say thank you to the Nigerian army? They could have also chosen to be civilians and wave flags in fancy, curse and praise on Facebook, use hashtags and emojis of sympathy, but they didn't. Instead, they formed bonds with Maiduguri civilian JTF, patrolling the deserts of Damasak, reclaiming the mountains of Goza, creating a firewall in Kondoga, creating safe zones in Bama. Thank you to the Nigerian army. And when they come blistered and burnt out from war with their raging and blubbering helicopters landing, I see the eyes of liberated women and children. I can't help but to think, where will Borno be without the Nigerian army? So thank you to the Nigerian army.
Please, everybody, can we be upstanding and say thank you to the Nigerian army? Everybody, please. Everybody, let's stand up and say thank you to the Nigerian army. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Again. Again. Lastly. Thank you very much. You may be seated. While we are wrapping up the program, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Tanimu Tahir to please come forward. Immediately after that, we take Hajia Zara, then we say the closing prayers and depart because some of us are going back to Abuja today. Thank you. Please, where's Star here? What of Hajia Zara Goni?
Okay, the chairman of the occasion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, I unassumingly beseech your kind permission to stand on the scrupulously and duly established protocol. When one is asked to give a brief goodwill message on an occasion such as this, one is tempted to describe the man in whose honor we are all gathered here. And one would like to borrow oratory words or words from great orators. One will be tempted to borrow the word from maybe the great Roman philosopher and an orator, Marcus Cicero, when he said that a colossus will maintain his height even when sitting in a well. In essence, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that today we are here to celebrate a colossus, a military giant of monumental proportion, whose professional seasonality, integrity, indefatigability, veracity, sagacity, and uncommon leadership capacity has given birth to an inspiration that is worth being emulated by the younger generation. And it is in that vein that today we are all gathered here. What more can we say of this man? He has no words to talk about himself, and no one can consider this a narcissistic approach to being a great person. Why am I saying so? It's because the great American philosopher by the name Ralph Waldo Emerson, that what you do is so loud that I cannot hear what you say. So what the Nigerian army under the leadership of Lieutenant General Tukuri Subrotai is doing is so loud. Just as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, it's so loud that we cannot even hear what they're saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone here for coming, and I hope this book is going to go a long way in inspiring the younger generation, which I belong to. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Hajia, please.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, or is it good morning? May I quickly just stand on existing protocol? First, I would like to say that you know who I am, Zara Goni from Maiduguri myself. it's not only a pleasure that I'm here today, but it's also an honor that I'm speaking to the leaders of tomorrow. And I think a lot has been said already, and I wouldn't like to repeat what has been said. But I'll just give you an example. As a mother or as a woman, often the times we are, whatever anyone says, as a mother you want to, hear like an example so that you can actually align the qualities with what has been with the person. I met General Burate in Jamena. At the time, he was the fourth commander of the Multinational Joint Task Force. My executive secretary at the time, I was working with the Lake Chad Basin Commission, had asked me to go downstairs and speak to the new force commander. And my first question was, is he civilian or military? And my executive secretary said he's military. And I said, but how do I begin to speak to him, particularly because I was supposed to address him to tell him what we were doing in the commission and our relationship with the MNJTF. And I had already formed an attitude that I was going there and he was going to ask the usual military or behave in the usual, something we consider the usual military way. And I wasn't prepared for it at all. But then it was a task I had to, perform. When I got there, I met a man full of respect. I met a man with a kind personality, a professional soldier, focused and determined, warm, with a smart sense of humor, exhibited a huge sense of selfless leadership, innovative, creative, focused, determined, appeared to be really hardworking and humble. And after I discussed the primary task, the second thing was, I said, well, with this opportunity, I said, it's time to talk about the women living around the Lake Chad. That wasn't part of the task that I was asked to carry out, but the opportunity and the warmth and the display of the welcome was why I went there. And I said to him, General, at the time I didn't even know the difference. I just said Major. I thought it was the same, Major, General, and Major, everything is the same. So I asked him, I said, well, there's something we really need. And he said, what is it? I said, we women living around the Lake Chad are mostly farmers and fisherwomen. And we need to go back to our farms because we need to support our families. Are you going to support us? And he said, listen, my sister, in the next 1 year, you'll be able to return to your farm. That has happened. And so, personally, at that point, he changed my complete perception about the army, particularly the Nigerian army, who I uphold, or we uphold in very high regards. I heard someone on the tabletop say he has engraved his name in Nigeria. Beyond that, he has engraved his name in the hearts of the women living around the Lake Chad, of which I am one. Not only has General Burate done that, but it also goes to you, the military, the army. We're really thankful. And there are about 3 million women living around the Lake Chad. May I also tell you that he's a military man or an army to the core, whom if you take, and I often joke about it, I say if you bring him out of the army, yeah? If you bring him out of the army, he doesn't have a job. So that's where he belongs. Thank you very much, Nigerian Army. Thank you very much.
Haja, if he leaves the army, he has a job. Hello? If he leaves the army, he has a what? He has a job. But before the vote of thanks, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have this to say. There was a day on that day. I woke up in the morning. I saw the sun. The beauty of creation came to be. People were thinking together. People were talking together. They didn't have a name. On that day, they gave a name. Yes, the name, they gave a name. The name was a country. They continue to live. And when they live, I have my problems. You have your problems. You were created you. I was created me. Yes, I was a different person. You were a different person. But a country came, and they called that country a name. A name, they called the country. I saw diversity in that very place. They actually toiled gracefully, and they lived together. That year, in 1960, the country changed the name again. It becomes a very strong name. They call it Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yes, because of diversity and encroachment from my borders. I saw a lot of violence. I saw a lot of insincere people coming to me thinking they love me, but they did not love me heartedly. Yes, I saw them as those who could build me. Yes, they built me, but they gave me a sense of destruction around my environment. But I sit back, I close my eyes, and tears roll down through my beautiful eyes. God suffered to create it. Yes, after the next day, I saw the people running away, running. I saw the black thick smoke. Yes, the cloud was so dark. People were so noisy. No one could say thank you. No one could say I love you. Yes, but here came a man that day. When all the old men, they sat together, the elders sat, they thought of it. They said, yes, my family will never remain like this. These are all my children. Yes. They sent the senior son. Go and make sure you turn the tears into joy. And then the son heartedly collected responsibilities. He ran without looking back. He forgot about the wife, the children, the peace, the unity, the love he has around himself as a person. He said, yes, let me go to this message. And he went. When he went there, he changed the space which they were occupying. What was the name they gave me and him? Yes, they gave him a name. He was among the 3 children of Lugat. He accepted the truth, and then he worked tirelessly. Lastly, they called him Lieutenant General Tukur Yusufu Burate, the Chief of Army Staff of Nigerian Army of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. May I passionately at this very juncture invite for the vote of thanks my dear friend who was mistakenly born in his state. This guy is supposed to be an indigene of Kafanchan, but forcefully he was born in the state he comes from. But by the grace of God, we are going to use, thank God, the friend to my father is a legal director. We are going to use every legal means to return you back to Kafanchan. Your lands are there, the buildings are there, everything is there. Please come and reclaim them back. Let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen, while we invite Mr. Zayat Ado to give us a very, very vote of thanks. Thank you very much.
Well, my dear friend, thank you, but I still remain Kano man and I've always remained in Kano. But Kapanchan are also a very good friends. Thank you for that. Yeah, the chairman of the occasion, the chief luncher in person of Alhaji Awal Garba Edi, my mentor, my role model, humanitarian, the Galadima Talban Kano, and also the chairman of Magma Group of Companies, the representative of T.Y. T.Y. Burate, Major General U.S. Mohammed, the auditor, Dr. M.S. Abubakar, members of the Nigerian Army, students, all protocols observed. I'll make it as brief as possible because of the time constraint. Well, I thank Almighty Allah for giving me the opportunity and the privilege to stand before you and talk to you and witness this great event or per se a project. God Almighty, I thank you for this opportunity. It's one-time, lifetime opportunity, and thank you so much for that. On behalf of myself and the entire team of Northern Star magazine, I want to thank you all for coming to this event, despite all your tight schedules and everything, for honoring this great event, all on behalf of our great legend, T.Y. Burate. Thank you so much for coming, and I also wish you safe return to your destinations. All I had to say had been said already. My mentors, let me put it this way, my orgas, my role models have already spoken. So I don't have much to say, rather than thanking you, and thank you once again. And I wish you safe return. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, our most dignitaries that are here, our very, very prominent and amiable senior military officers here present, indeed, your show of love and commitment to this very country reminds me of the wonderful strength of divine creativity of God. Indeed, I remain very close, very, very respectful, very, very committed to the Nigerian Army. I jokingly said it, but I mean what I said. It was just unfortunate that I was not part of it then. If not, I would have been a military officer. But all things being equal, I'm still a friend to the military, and I'll remain friendly with them till God say, let's go. And therefore, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your coming. Thank you very much. If you are just joining us, this is coming to you live from the studios of the Chief of Army Staff of the Nigerian Army. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, while you are here, go back home, go back to the books, read, and let's pray for the Nigerian Army. Let God give them victory. Victory comes from God. I agree. Let's believe in it, and let's pursue it, let's follow it, and let's support it in entirety. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this very juncture, we are going to have some snapshots. The top table, we have a red carpet there. Immediately after the national anthem, everybody remain here. The top table will take with the senior military officers, then with the students and the military officers as well. We thank you very much for being here with us. I remain Comrade Paul Simon, the anchor for today. Can we be on our feet for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Please remain seated while the top table move out to the red carpet there. They will take the shots. Then after the shots, both the most senior military officers will join the shots.
That was the live telecast of events for the formal presentation of a book titled The Legend of Burate, put together for children, as authored by Abubakar Muhammad Sani, a seasoned journalist. The venue has been the Merit House, Maitama District, Abuja, on behalf of colleagues at the Thompsons. And of course, those with the outside broadcast crew. I am KG Busari Ahmed. A very good afternoon.
Senate confirms Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele for another term in office as Minister of Finance gives account of stewardship. Experts brainstorm on modalities for financial autonomy of state legislature and the judiciary. And more reactions on local government autonomy. These and more on today's Panorama. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on Panorama. I am Onome Okadibo. The Senate has confirmed the reappointment of Godwin Emefiele as Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that Emefiele is to serve for another term of 5 years.
Has been clamoring for financial autonomy for both legislature and judiciary to enhance efficiency and service delivery in lawmaking and quick dispensation of justice by both arms of government for the benefit of citizens. The two-day retreat is setting in motion a roadmap towards implementation of the initiative, with the committee having
the whole essence of constitutional alteration effort by national.
On Thursday, 9th of May 2019, Senate received executive communication requesting the confirmation of the renewal of Godwin Emefiele's appointment as Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. 5 days after, Senate referred the request to its Committee on Banking for screening. A day after the referral, Godwin Emefiele was screened and the report of the exercise was presented at plenary and considered. Chairman of the committee, Rafiu Adebayo, presented the report, which described the central bank governor as an experienced financial expert who performed his first term creditably.
The nominee have more than 32 years of banking experience with outstanding performance in all positions he occupied. That the nominee understands the diverse economic nature of the country, he is qualified for the position of the governor of the central bank for another term in which he has been nominated by Mr. President.
On behalf of the Senate, let me congratulate the Governor of the Central Bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, on the renewal of his appointment. We wish him a useful 5 years and we'll use the opportunity to continue to provide support to ensure that the economy of our country continues to improve and address the most important area of ensuring the macroeconomic stability.
Godwin Emefiele is the 4th governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria from 1999 and the only CBN governor to be reappointed for a second term within. Also at Thursday's plenary, Senate considered and approved the report of its committee on promissory note program and bond issuance to settle inherited debts and contractual obligations to states, which also recommended that Bauchi State be reimbursed 14.6 billion naira. Senate leader Ahmed Lawan advised the Senate.
It will behoove the Senate to also pass and approve for Kogi State.
Senate has passed the 2018 budget of the Nigerian Communications Commission of 218.7 billion naira as presented by the chairman, Senate Committee on Communication, Senator Gilbert Nnaji. That of the Universal Service Provision Fund of 15.1 billion was also passed. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has set up a committee tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that the financial autonomy of the state legislature and judiciary is implemented.
Now, we sincerely apologize for skipping Enugu like that. Now, a committee tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that the financial autonomy of the state legislature and judiciary is implemented in the 36 states of the Federation has been set up. The committee, set up by President Muhammadu Buhari, held a 2-day retreat to officially kickstart its assignment. Abdul Karim Muhammad Zermi has the report.
Nigeria has been clamoring for financial autonomy for both legislature and judiciary to enhance efficiency and service delivery in lawmaking and quick dispensation of justice by both arms of government for the benefit of citizens. The two-day retreat is setting in motion a roadmap towards implementation of the initiative, with the committee having been inaugurated.
The whole essence of constitutional alteration effort by the National Assembly has always been to strengthen the institutions of democracy, promote good governance, and hasten national development.
Any amount standing to the credit of the judiciary in the consolidated revenue fund of the Federation shall be paid directly to the National Judicial Council for disbursement to heads of court established for the Federation and the state under Section 6 of this Constitution.
The program is also part of the efforts by President Buhari's administration to bring about transparency in governance and curb corruption in the public sector.
Unfortunately, only a few clauses of what National Assembly passed were assented to by the President. But this is very critical in terms of strengthening our democracy, that the legislature is able to function as an independent arm of government, able to moderate the excesses of the executive, particularly at the state level, where the development of the government and the transparency of government is very, very limited.
The retreat is expected to x-ray various topics, including the role of the executive arm in strengthening the financial autonomy of state legislature and judiciary in Nigeria. In Abuja, Abdulkarim Mohammed Zermi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government, through the Ministry of Finance, says it has recorded gains in its quest to improve revenue to GDP ratio in the last 4 years as it begins to wind down activities of the present administration. Liakatung Babatunde reports that the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, disclosed that government has grown taxpayer base from 12 to 35 million as reforms continue to yield desired results.
It is countdown to the end of an era, and the Federal Ministry of Finance, along with the agencies that are accountable to her and the Nigerian people, have been given a breakdown of steps they have taken in the last 4 years and how they had steered the affairs of the economy also in the last 4 years. Now the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, is telling Nigerians that revenue indeed has been a source of concern for the Nigerian government. Now this is because at the inception of this administration, all classes were not at a favorable position. And also, Nigeria was bedeviled by a poor savings culture along with a huge infrastructure deficit.
In 2018, our budgeted revenue was 7.2 trillion, and this is against the actual figure that was realized of 3.96 trillion, signifying a negative variance of 45%. But despite that, we were able to meet salaries 100%, debt service 100%. As at 14th of May 2019, we have been able to release against the 2018 budget 2.079 trillion naira for capital expenditures.
Nigeria's debt burden is actually not going anywhere soon. Now, this is because the federal government is still borrowing, but this time around at a higher tenure by as much as 30 years repayment plan.
We are in the process of issuing the second green bond, this time around for 15 billion naira. This second bond will be to finance various projects in the agricultural sector, as well as in the power sector, in the health sector, and as well as the water sector.
In the next coming months, we're going to be witnessing a lot of investment in human capital as Nigeria is still expressing concerns over the inability of the population growth to tally with economic growth. Liakatung Babatunde, NTA News.
And still on economic matters, it has now been confirmed that Nigeria exports cement, and this is one out of the many success stories in the revamped solid mineral sector in Nigeria. Minister of State Mines and Steel Development Abubakar Bawabwari confirmed this in Abuja when a delegation from Morocco as well as from the private sector visited the ministry. Mia Ogidi reports.
Cranes rising high in different locations nationwide, all pointing downwards, prospecting and discovering more solid minerals. At the last count, they are 44, and the Minister of State Mines and Steel Development is also making foreign trips to market these resources. Just a fortnight ago, he was in Marrakesh, Morocco, for this purpose. Today, these investors from Morocco are in Nigeria to invest in the sector. This is an outcome of a memorandum of understanding entered into in Marrakesh by the two countries, and the development of phosphate and other mineral resources are the center of this pact.
Our president attached a lot of importance to his relationship with the King of Morocco. I want to leverage on that relationship, your experience and so on, to be able to develop our own phosphates.
After hosting the delegation from Morocco, the Minister of Mines and Steel was engaged by another group, this time from the banking industry. After watching the sector from a distance and satisfied with the level of transparency, some chief executive officers of major financial institutions have declared to invest in the sector. For the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, this breakthrough comes with Nigeria's self-sufficiency in more fronts.
We are today self-sufficient in cement production and now exporting cement. We want to do the same thing in carbonate minerals so that we can address the issue of the pharmaceuticals, water treatment.
The Executive Secretary of the Solid Minerals Development Fund, Fatima Shinkrafi, more funding from the private sector will open more frontiers in the industry. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
You're watching NTA News Panorama. The news continues shortly after these messages. Stay with us.
For independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize.
No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's be together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Thanks for staying with Panorama. The federal government has earmarked over 900 million naira for the training of teachers handling students with special needs from across the country. 18 teachers are to be trained with the special knowledge aimed at enhancing their skills for optimum performance. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir has details.
Briefing journalists shortly after the Federal Executive Council meeting on the resolution of the Ministry of Education, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, explained that 2 memos were submitted and approved by the Council to facilitate teaching and learning in the country. One is for the construction of the School of Engineering Technology, as well as School of Agricultural Technology in Akure at the cost of about ₦1 billion. And the second memo was for the consultancy services for capacity development of teachers handling students with special needs.
This will actually entail training 18 teachers from each state of the Federation to handle students with special needs and disability.
For the development of Federal Capital Territory, 6 memos were approved comprising the provision of an access road to link very key roads in the Central Business District.
The first of the memos we presented was a memo for the award of contract for the construction and equipping of material testing laboratory in Abuja.
4 memos were also submitted by the Ministry of Transportation. These include the rehabilitation, reconstruction and renovation of the building and structures of Railways Village in Agbo, Delta State.
And the second memoranda is procurement of security and safety deficiencies / incidences laboratory for Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NTA. And the third memorandum from transportation is procurement of pavement marking machines.
The meeting was presided over by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshimbajo. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Now, for the African continent to achieve sustainable development goals in 2030, experts are advocating the need for efforts at fighting corruption in the continent. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports that this is a fallout of the Transparency International policy paper presentation on land and education corruption in Africa.
Instances abound in West Africa, where forgeries, seeking a bribe for admission into institutions, clothing of land documents, allocating land without following due process, land grabbing, sex for marks in higher institutions, and discrimination against women, among others, are serious corrupt cases impeding development. A Transparency International survey expressed concern over the endemic problem and how the vices can destroy the society. Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, who is also the Nigerian chairman